HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50HavingItAll and use code 50HavingItAll for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50HavingItAll and use code 50HavingItAll.
Uy, qué bueno está este podcast, pero como que ya hace hambre y se antojan unos faps de McDonald's. Ve por un McTrío McPollo. ¿O McTocino? Elige el McTrío McPollo con papas medianas y refresco con refill por solo 99 pesos. O el McTrío McTocino, que también cuesta solo 99 pesos y también trae papas medianas y refresco con refill. O mejor pide los dos. Elige tu fab por solo 99 pesos. Corre por el tuyo a McDonald's y ahora sí, sigue disfrutando del episodio.
Welcome to Having It All. My name is Matthew Bivens, and each week I bring you conversations and insights that explore the question, what does having it all mean to you? My goal is to leave you with stories you can relate to and messages you can take action on so that you can create an abundant, loving life. I am so excited that you're here to hang out with me today. Now, let's jump right into this episode. Today's episode is all about abundance. So, if you remember, last week I went over the meaning of having it all as it relates to this show. It was sparked off by a question that I received from a listener who asked me, what does ALL stand for in having it all? And from there, I decided, you know what? It's about time that I get into the framework around having it all and the context with which I approach having it all in my life, and dive into some of the tools and constructs and beliefs that I use and that I share with others so that they can create it all in their lives. And so that's exactly what we're doing today. So over the next number of weeks, I don't really know how many weeks this is going to take, but we're just going to flow with it for as long as it takes. I'm going to unpack the meaning of having it all. I'm going to go into each individual element, and I'm going to share with you all of the different tools that I use and that I share with others so that you can say that you truly have it all in your life. So like I said at the top of the episode, today we are talking all about abundance. Abundance is a topic that I have had to work on my relationship towards abundance in one particular area for most of my life, and it is something that I am still challenged with today at this time, right now. And I'll get into that a little bit later on. First thing I want to do is do a quick recap about the framework of having it all as it relates to this podcast. So if you're looking at the name of the podcast and you see ALL, well, it's an acronym. And all stands for Abundant Loving Life. So this show is about having an abundant, loving life. So if you listen to some of my interviews with guests, I always ask them, what does having it all mean to you? And everybody gives a different answer, and I love that. You know, everybody has a different response to that question because they've experienced different things in their life. They relate to things differently. They have different perspectives on life. You know, they look at life through different lenses, and so as a listener, both you and I get to hear all of these different perspectives about what having it all means. And each one is incredibly special. But before I launched this podcast, I thought about that question for myself. And initially, I struggled to come up with an answer that felt genuine to me. You know, my answers were typically when I feel happy, when I feel fulfilled. And that was great, but it felt like I was simply regurgitating things that I had read or heard in other places. And I like things that I can truly sink my my teeth into, something meaty that holds up over time for me, that is not ambiguous, and that I could potentially measure to see where my progress is from today versus, years down the road. So I developed this framework for having it all, and that's where abundant loving life came from. So if we look at ALL, each one of those words is jam-packed with meaning, and I always like to start with the second L, which is life. Now, there are many different areas of life in which we all operate at different times, and we each play different roles in our lives at different times. Sometimes we like to use the phrase, put on many hats or wear many hats. And so I looked at that and I said, okay, what are the areas of life that are most important to me? And I came up with 6 of them.
HelloFresh takes the guesswork and the extra hassle out of planning and preparing delicious meals for dinner. America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh gives you over 40 recipes to choose from each week. And then your farm-fresh, pre-portioned seasonal ingredients arrive at your doorstep with simple instructions to help you feel like the master chef of your kitchen. And did you know that HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout? HelloFresh has been an awesome addition to our household's dinner routine. We all get involved and cook together, following the pictured step-by-step instructions. It's a fun quality time and the meals are delicious. Give it a try and see for yourself. Go to HelloFresh.com/50HavingItAll and use code 50HavingItAll for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, to get 50% off plus free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/50HavingItAll and use code 50HavingItAll.
Uy, qué bueno está este podcast, pero como que ya hace hambre y se antojan unos faps de McDonald's. Ve por un McTrío McPollo. ¿O McTocino? Elige el McTrío McPollo con papas medianas y refresco con refill por solo 99 pesos. O el McTrío McTocino, que también cuesta solo 99 pesos y también trae papas medianas y refresco con refill. O mejor pide los dos. Elige tu fab por solo 99 pesos. Corre por el tuyo a McDonald's y ahora sí, sigue disfrutando del episodio.
Actually, let me backtrack on that. I did not come up with 6 of them. I was attracted to 6 of them, and 6 of them resonated with me. And I got these 6 Fs from my mentor, Day Adioba, and the Your Day Balance game, which is an amazing health and fitness game that is governed by balance and love. And in this game, he talks about these 6 Fs. And it was these 6 Fs that really resonated with me. And from there, I went out and did my own digging to see what are some other constructs folks have created, and I kept coming back to these 6. So I'm not gonna claim that I created these, and Day didn't necessarily create it either. But these constructs I got from him, and so the 6 Fs are faith, family, friends, fitness, finance, and fun. So for me, I can say that I am having it all when I am experiencing abundance and love in each of those 6 different areas. So when I can say without a doubt, I'm experiencing abundance and love in my faith, abundance and love in my family, abundance and love in my friends, so on and so forth. When I can go all the way down that list and be like, yeah, that's how I'm showing up and that's what I'm experiencing in each of those areas, then I can say without a doubt, I'm having it all. When I can't say that, then I say I'm playing for it all. I'm getting there. Right now, I'm experiencing some challenges within my family. I think that my family right now is facing a circumstance where each of us is challenged to be loving. Be loving. And I'm also experiencing some financial abundance challenges. I won't use the word challenges because that's a belief. That's going to set up certain things. But what I'm playing for is more financial abundance. My wife Sarah, she has a successful blog called Back to Complete. And for the last 6 months, her and I have been just putting in energy and love and late nights into our flagship digital course for Back to Complete. And it's called Unleash Your Humble Badass. I'll put a link to that at the bottom of the show notes of this episode. And we're playing for some big some big revenue goals with this course. It's something that she provides her clients. She's a personal trainer and balanced lifestyle coach. And so she has this curriculum that she takes her clients through. And we said, let's turn this into something digital that many, many people can use and be touched by and transform their lives with. And so we've set financial goals for the number of students we want to have enrolled in this course. And so that area for me, finance, has been an area where my relationship has not always been an abundant one. And so, again, when I can go through all those 6 F's and say that I'm experiencing them with each of them with abundance and love, then I can say that I'm having it all. So that's what ALL stands for in having it all. Now, how do you grow your experience in each of those areas? How do you experience more love? How do you experience more abundance in each of those areas? That was something that I thought for myself. And again, I went to the people who I'm learning from. I went to my wife and talked to her, and through trial and error on my own self, through trying things out and experimenting and looking at what has worked for me, I came up with 6 different tools or 6 different constructs that when you apply them, when you use them, you can experience more abundance and love in your life. I'll briefly run through those 6 and remind you that I'm going to be going into them in much more detail. Each one of these 6 is going to have its own dedicated episode. But now I just want to go through the list. The first is mindset. The second is consciousness and environment. The third is values and roles. The fourth, why and mission. The fifth, body and balance. And the 6th is gratitude and magic. Now, all of those may not make a whole lot of sense to you right now. You might be thinking, what the hell is magic? But that's what I'm going to dig into on future episodes. So, by now, how many minutes are we into this thing? We're about 8 minutes into this thing. You have a big overview about having it all, that framework, and the different constructs that you can use to create it all. And so today, I'm going to get into the meat of this conversation. Let's talk a little bit about abundance. Because as I shared with you earlier, abundance and adopting an abundance mentality has been an area of growth for me. It has absolutely been something that I've grown to have much more of an abundance mentality in life. And I've always had the view of life as, they say the glass, is it half full or half empty? I've always been a half full type of guy. But now, after working on this very intentionally and exploring this idea for myself, exploring the idea of abundance, I believe that I'm able to tap into abundance and experience more abundance much more frequently because I've just simply become aware of it and simply have become aware of the times in my life, the moments when I'm adopting a scarcity mentality over an abundance mentality. So first and foremost, abundance is just simply this idea that there is enough. There is plenty to go around of whatever it is that you're talking about. Just believing that there is plenty to go around. So many times when we talk about abundance, a lot of the first thing that pops into people's minds is finances. So an abundance of money, an abundance of wealth. That's a great area to start because that is totally the area where I am working on embracing more of an abundance mentality and truly owning and internalizing the idea and the belief that there is an abundance of finances, of wealth for me to experience, for you to experience, and for everyone in the world to experience. And I get simple reminders of this. Like I live in Atlanta. And one thing about Atlanta, if you are not from the city, you got to know there are a lot of people who live here. And the roadways in Atlanta are set up to where traffic happens all the time. There's traffic pretty much every hour of the day except for the dead of night and on holidays. And so when I'm driving around Atlanta, I'm going from my house in the northwest part of just outside of the city, and I'm traveling into the city, I experience an abundance of cars. And so it's a great opportunity for me to just simply look around and think, wow, all of the resources, all of the money that has gone into producing and allowing all of these cars to be on the road is just mind-blowing. You know, if I'm sitting in traffic and around me I'm surrounded by 500 cars, well, each one of those cars costs something. You know, there's a sticker price on the windshield of each one of those cars, and each one of those cars costs something to put. You know, there's a cost to allow it to run: gas, oil, tune-ups. And the people sitting in those cars, they're wearing clothes. Those clothes have a cost to them. They're probably listening to something on their iPhone or their smartphone. There's a cost to that. So there is so much money hanging out on the road with me when I am experiencing an abundance of traffic. And it's through that lens that I can be like, you know what? There really is an abundance of finances, an abundance of wealth in the world, on this planet, for me to be able to tap into as well. Like, there is more than enough to go around. And so that's the idea behind abundance and having an abundance mentality. You know, it's just truly this belief that there is enough to go around. And it's my belief that people who experience abundance in life, who truly experience abundance in all those 6 areas, including finance, the folks who are like, wow, they got it going on in all these different areas, they do so because of one thing, and that's their mindset. You know, they believe that they are abundant, and they believe that the universe or God or source or whatever you want to call it has more than enough to go around. And they do not let scarcity mindsets hang around in their brain for too long. Sure, they might slip in, you know, it might pop in there, and you might have a fear thought and a judgmental thought or whatever it is, but they don't let them hang around for too long, because scarcity mindsets breed scarce people. I'll say it again. Scarcity mindsets breed scarce people. And scarce people do not experience abundance. Right? You cannot have it all when you believe that there is a limit to all. If you believe that there is some finite amount of whatever it is, then you cannot truly have it all, because to truly have it all, in my opinion, is to surrender that thought that there is not enough. So to be experiencing an abundance of wealth, you surrender the idea that there is a finite amount of money and you have to carve out your piece of pie, because if you don't, it will be gone and you'll never be able to get it again. And all, you know, there's only a certain amount of money out there with which you can put your hands on. People with that type of belief do not have long-term sustained wealth and healthy finances. And if they do, then their relationship to it is absolutely not healthy. And there are some serious consequences to having an unhealthy relationship to your finances. You could probably just ask your doctor about that. If you do go to a primary doctor, ask them about what happens when people stress out and have an unhealthy relationship towards money. Or shoot, if you're a person who likes to go and get massages, or you go to a chiropractor, talk to them about it as well. You know, because money scarcity shows up in your body. It absolutely does. So having it all really just means imbuing a mindset of abundance and just constantly, consciously, intentionally choosing to recognize the insane amounts of love, wealth, relationships, time, health, jobs, space, land that there truly is. And just understanding and recognizing and believing that there's an abundance of it all. So what I want to do now is to give you some tips, some things that you can do to experience more abundance in your life, because I don't simply want to give you these concepts. I want to be able to give you something that you can then apply these concepts to your life. Because the big thing is, because you can study this stuff. You can read every single book there is on abundance. You can listen to every single Deepak Chopra meditation on abundance. You can do all of that and then still adopt a scarcity mindset once life serves you up a circumstance you were not expecting. Because that's when it counts, people. That's when it counts. When you're out there, when you're in life, you're in the real world, and stuff happens to you. It's when that stuff happens that your true colors come out, right? Like your true self comes out. And if you've been practicing abundance, not just reading about it, but truly practicing abundance, then it's the reps that you've put in, those reps time and time again that are gonna come out in those moments when you're feeling the pressure, when you're feeling the stress, when you're feeling the anxiety, because that's when it truly counts. So a simple tip that you can do to experience more abundance in your life is to simply practice gratitude. Gratitude. It's just writing down the things that you are grateful for. There's something to be grateful for in every single situation, every day. Even in the days that feel so freaking terrible that you just wish they would end, there's still some nugget of gratitude to be had. So a very simple practice, something that you can do immediately as soon as you turn off this episode, is to just think. Just think about one thing that you're grateful for in your life. If you want to take it a step further, write that thing down. And if you want to start cultivating a powerful habit around gratitude, make it something you do at the end of each day. Get a journal, and at the end of each day, write down 5 different things that you're grateful for. They don't have to be enormous things. You don't have to win the lottery and say, I'm so grateful that I won the lottery. It can be as simple as, I'm incredibly grateful that I have a soft bed to sit on as I write these down in my journal. I'm incredibly grateful that there's a light shining down on me so I can see this paper that my pen is touching. I'm incredibly grateful that I have headphones to listen to this podcast on. I'm incredibly grateful that I have Bluetooth in my car so that I can stream this podcast from my phone through my car speakers and into my ears. There's so many things to be grateful for. And to start experiencing abundance in the different areas of life, to start doing that, all you have to simply do is recognize all that you do have. Because practicing gratitude is recognizing your abundance. And like I said, so much of abundance and experiencing abundance in life is a mentality. It's a belief. And beliefs are a huge topic of discussion on this podcast. In these types of episodes and in the conversations that I have with my guests, so much of what we talk about comes back to beliefs. And whenever we're talking about beliefs, I'm reminded of the quote from Gandhi, and I have it here. I'm going to read it. Gandhi said that man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. And I love that last part of it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. So if you believe that you are abundant, if you believe that you are capable of creating an abundance of whatever it is that you want in life, you can acquire the capacity to do it, even if you have absolutely no idea how to do it. I use myself as an example. Like I said, my wife and I have launched this digital product, this digital course. And we set the bar high for how many people we wanted to enroll in this course. We created a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. Because we said, why not? Like, we could potentially not make it if we set a small goal. So why not set a super huge goal and go for that? Now, I have a marketing background. I've spent 6 years in digital marketing, online marketing, but I've never done what we are attempting to do, what we are doing right now. but I have a belief, a conviction in my bones. I feel it. I'm already experiencing life with all of these amazing students, all of these amazing, humble badasses. I'm already there. I'm already experiencing it. Even though I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, the fact that I believe it in my core and my wife believes it, it means that we're going to figure it out. And that's what belief does. Belief allows you to move forward and figure things out, to tap in to the creativity that you have in your brain, to tap into those corners of creativity and ideation and courage that you never knew existed because you have a belief that it's possible. Or you believe in your end goal. You believe in what you are out to create. You believe in what you're doing. So this relates back to abundance, because when we believe that the universe has plenty, has more than enough for us, for me, for you, for everyone, when you have that belief, you start to unlock different things in your mind, and you start to unlock different capabilities of your own so that you can truly create and experience abundance in your life. So that's it for abundance. I am really appreciative that you hung out with me today. And like I said, we're going to go through the entire Having It All framework, from abundant, loving life down through the 6 different constructs. Today, we just checked off the first one on the list with abundance. And I really hope that you got something powerful from this conversation. Remember, if you want to begin cultivating an abundance habit in your life, then simply recognize and write down things that you're grateful for. Piece of paper every night, put it on your nightstand, a journal, jot down a couple things you're grateful for, and, become aware of the different abundance that you're experiencing in all the different areas of your life, because it's there. It's there for you to have. It's there for you to tap into. So with that, my name is Matthew Bivens. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for the past however long, 30 minutes or so. And here is to you having it all. 2 quick things before you leave. First, did you know that the Having It All podcast is a part of the Fireside Network? Yep, we are one of the esteemed shows that calls Fireside Network home. That means if you ever want to listen to a show outside of iTunes or Stitcher or whatever your favorite podcasting app is, all you need to do is visit firesidenetwork.com and under shows, select Having It All. From there, you can access all the episodes, see the show notes, learn about my guests, and more. Second, I am very excited to announce that my brand new website is live. Visit MatthewBivens.com and you can learn more about me, get plugged into an accountability group, and pick up some free content like the Abundance Benchmark. I am all about helping you not only identify what your ideal life looks like, but also helping you on your journey towards it. I want you to experience more abundance and love in your life. So, again, you can find out more information about all of that great stuff at MatthewBivens.com. Thank you once more for listening to the show, and here is to you having it all.